afternoon, and welcome to a bonus edition of the Digital Daily Bible Study. Jonathan here with the crew at Life Church's Saginaw campus. This morning, I was really enjoying Romans chapter 7, soaking in the gospel truths of how God pursues us no matter what. And in Romans 7, I love how Paul, the author of Romans, he is straight up honest. You get a real sense of his heart because it's very raw. Because Paul says, I know what I'm supposed to do as a Christ follower. I know that I'm supposed to love people and to want to serve people. And yet, I still mess up all the time. And I'm like, I can relate to that. Romans 7 makes sense in my life, especially as a parent, as a husband, as just a person in the neighborhood. I'm always messing up. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like I know all the right answers, but just like racing the contestants on Jeopardy, I can't spit it out fast enough. I can't get the right answer. Paul says it's because we wrestle with the flesh. But we want to walk by the Spirit. So it says this in Romans chapter 7, verse 15. I don't understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. He's talking about this tension, this inner struggle that I think all of us experience in our daily lives. Like, I know I want to be a really good husband, or I want to measure up and be a hero to my kids as their dad. But too often I mess up. I have this thing called the flesh, and it gets in the way, and I just constantly fail as a Christ follower. Well, you can keep your finger in Romans 7, but let's go old school for a minute. Let's go to Isaiah. This is about 700 years before the time of Jesus. Isaiah was a prophet. In Isaiah chapter 40, verse 8, he shares some words that you probably heard spoken in church world before. Isaiah 40, verse 8 says, "The grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of our God stands forever." The grass withers every fall. It's like right after Labor Day. You know, you've had this wonderful summer. You get the Labor Day 3-day weekend, and then boom, as sure as a Jerry Lewis telethon growing up, the cold wind kicks in that first Tuesday of September here in Michigan. And all that vitamin D that we were absorbing, it is blown away. The grass withers, and then the flowers fade. And I like fall. I like the smells of fall, the beautiful color of leaves. When you drive up north, you see the reds and the golds, and it's just beautiful. And yet, fall means that winter is coming. Just like with HBO, winter is coming in Game of Thrones. The grass is going to wither. The flowers are going to fade. And in the same way, you and I, we will wither. In our flesh, our bodies have an expiration date. We will not last forever. The grass withers, the flowers fade, but the word of our God lasts forever. So while the flesh may fail, the Spirit is what continues. And so our hope doesn't need to be in how well we measure up each day as a mom, as a dad, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a contributing member of the workforce. Because the grass withers. Your flesh will give out, but your spirit will go on just as surely as God's word stands forever. And so what's nice about Isaiah 40 is that Isaiah tenderly reminds us in verse 11 that he tends to his flock like a shepherd. We are the sheep, he is the shepherd, and he gathers the lambs in his arms, carrying them close to his heart. Though you and I fumble forward in our faith, Isaiah 40 verse 11 reminds us that it's not our strength that determines whether we rise when we fall. It's his strength. He tends the flock. He cares for the lambs like a shepherd. A shepherd is responsible for the safety, for the protection, for the provision, for keeping the sheep together because we are prone to wander. He gathers the lambs in his arms. Even when we collapse, Christ is there to lift us back up. He carries us close to his heart. And that is so reassuring when we journey through Romans 7. And Paul says, I know all the right head knowledge, it's the heart that fails. My spirit wants to please God with my life, but my flesh is weak and my flesh fails. Isaiah 40 is a reminder that your job is to be the sheep. And the sheep rely on the shepherd. We don't rely on our own flesh. We don't rely on our own strength. We don't rely on our own ingenuity. Instead, we have permission to collapse, to crash at the feet of our shepherd. And he will gather us. He will carry us. He will provide. He will lead. He will protect. And yes, he will gingerly forgive. It's all about putting Jesus over everything. When Jesus comes first, you never come last. So even though it says in Romans 7:15, I do not understand. I know what I want to do, but I continually hit the error button. God is a forgiving God. Jesus over everything is the formula. Jesus said in Matthew to seek his kingdom and his righteousness, and then all these things will be added unto you. Put the shepherd first, because the shepherd puts the sheep first, and then all these things will fall into place. The grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of our God stands forever. I hope this has been an encouragement to you, this bonus digital Bible study. You can catch up on our website, lifechurchmichigan.com/Romans, or you can go to Spotify, look for Digital Daily Bible Study on the podcasts, subscribe there. We'll see you again tomorrow live, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy your burrito.